Hello everybody and welcome back to NCAA 2004 in the Alabama Crimson Tide Dynasty mode, and there's a little bit of housekeeping I would like to get rid of or take care of before we get into this loaded final week of our regular season. And I did mention in a comment last week that I'd be starting the new series that would run along the Crimson Tide, the end of the series, this week. And I'm thinking I'm still going to try and do that, but I think we might push it more towards the end of the week rather than like splice it in between episodes of Bama. So maybe on Friday we'll get that first episode. I'm trying to edit it like I did the Bengals series, if you remember that on my channel, where I had multiple games in an episode, and we're going to try and showcase all the games on a schedule instead of like simming around. So those videos are going to take a little bit longer to get together to edit, and I'm going to start getting a little bit busier in the coming weeks here towards the end of August and September. So I probably won't have nearly as much time to work on those. I'm also working on a lot of like long form stuff too. So the Bama series is kind of just like anchoring down continuous content on the channel while I work on all those bigger projects in the background. But hopefully I'll be able to at least have another basic series to run around the start of the college football season to give you guys something else to watch while I work on all this stuff and the Alabama series comes to an end. But with that, now we are focused in on the Iron Bowl, the final game of our season. And as long as we do our job and win this game, we will put ourselves in prime position to hopefully get looked on favorably by the computer. Now, the computer's already favoring the Hokies and the Fighting Irish above us, and we're, of course, looking elsewhere in all of college football, hoping that results go our way. We need a big game from Boston College. We need a big game from USC in Week 15, and so we just need to do our job and win against Auburn, and then obviously win in Atlanta in the following weeks, because we will most likely be going there as well. Even a loss to Auburn would not change our trajectory, at least going to Atlanta to play for the ACC championship, since we've already beaten Arkansas and we've already beaten Tennessee, which would have been the only other hiccup we would face in getting there. But Tennessee, obviously divisionally it doesn's really matter, but beating Arkansas pretty much clinches the Western Division for us, and that's the fourth or fifth game of the season that we play every year. So Ben Medley's already giving us something to cheer about here in Auburn as he continues his amazing season. That is touchdown number 11, I believe, for him on the year. And we're just continuing to roll things on offense. And again, Ben Medley is getting involved once again. Now, Auburn has like a decent, they have a good quarterback. He's like a 90 overall. So I guess he's a senior though. So I guess it's taken all these years for him to kind of get to this level. But elsewhere on the roster, there's really not a lot to write home about for the Tigers. So the 7-5 record has really just kind of just come begrudgingly, I guess. In spite of all the talent, Auburn's found a way to win games, so good for them, I guess. But Keon Hood has gotten his 18th touchdown of the year. So yardage-wise, he's really not lighting up the stat sheet. He's got less than 900 yards on the year, but that is touchdown number 18. So if he had more yardage, he might even be in Heisman consideration, but because his yardage total is so slow as all-purpose yards, probably close to 1,000 yards, he's not going to get the favorability from the voters. But still, man, almost 20 touchdowns on the year is absolute insanity. It is absolute insanity. I don't know what the touchdown record is single season in the Sick Naban era. I don't know what that record is. I want to say it's close to 20, like low 20s, maybe 21, 22. But I don't know. We'll see Hood as he tries to maybe go for that. And he dives for the end zone on that play. And I don't know if he got there. They're going to say that the ball broke the plane, and I'll roll with him there. But it was definitely a sketchy little play here as Keon Hood tries to just dive for the end zone after a Chip Milligan reception set us up for this touchdown, and we are already kind of pouring things on the Tigers in the first quarter, already up 21-0, and now Auburn, things are going to start getting quite disastrous for the Tigers offense as a fumble from, I'm going to guess Stacey Vann, the running back. I believe he put the ball on the ground, and he's had a decent season. He's a 69 overall, but he's almost got 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns, so I'd be happy with that on my team. So, but I don't have to worry about that because Keon Hood already has another touchdown in this game. I believe it's his third in the first quarter. I believe that's his third touchdown just the first quarter alone. Is my math wrong? I know Ben Medley had the first one. I think Keon Hood has scored all the other ones. And this is where he thrives in the last 10 to 15 yards, close to the end zone. That's really where he thrives and really kind of shows off his stuff, his capabilities. And there he is catching a pass. So I guess Keon Hood can just do anything. And this is going to be his MVP caliber game where he's just going to make his Heisman case here in this game. I don't think it's going to be enough, but who knows? The sky's the limit here. So Lumpkin going to throw for it again. And again, it's Keon Hood out of the backfield getting a catch. I don't know what on earth is happening. This is just absolute insanity. It's bizarre. It truly is bizarre as Keon Hood is really just putting the offense on his back entirely. And we'll see what happens now on a first and 10. Okay, we're not going to get it to Keon Hood. We might see here. He might catch it. Oh, my God. Don't tell me. No, it's not him. It's not him. Do not tell me. I think it was Evan Jacobs, one of the more forgotten souls here who we've talked about before. Just development did not get where we wanted it to be over the course of his Crimson Tide career here. But, we still got some time here. Maybe we'll see a big game or so from him. Love to see it. As Keon Hood gets his fourth touchdown of the first quarter, excuse me. Fourth touchdown. That's got to be a record. Now, that has to be a Sick Naven record. I don't think any running back in the history of the Sick Naven era has had more than even 2 touchdowns in 1 quarter. So 35-0 is the score after 1 quarter of play. 1 quarter play. So as you guys can probably venture now from the time, from the length of this video, this game is going to end very, very quickly as the Tigers are unfortunately finding themselves up against an immovable object known as the Crimson Tide offense and defense, since they have not scored yet. So they might score. I guess the defense is just going for the shutout now, which would be an amazing feat for this defense. I'm sure a lot of our seniors would love to have that on their belt here. But Cal Lumpkin completely dumps his pants and runs out of talent at the worst possible moment. And the defensive tackle who got to him gets up, has himself a spot of tea here, gets himself a couple crumpets, and doesn't get on the football for some reason. So we managed to get the fumble back that Cal Lumpkin had, and that's just going to put a 4th and 18. So Kendall Owens is going to have to try and finish off the drive here with a big field goal, and he does. So we still get points out of that after that disastrous play here from Cal Lumpkin. Don't know how to explain that one away here, but 38-0 is now the score, and now Lumpkin on the run here fires an absolute dot, and that pass is going to be completed, and now in the end zone for a touchdown. I believe it's Chip Milligan once again, and that is going to be his 10th touchdown of the year. If the math is correct, there's so much scoring, it's hard to keep track of who is scoring when. But yeah, Chip Milligan gets his first touchdown of this game here, and that is touchdown number 10. He's like, Coach, if everyone else is getting a little bit of the touchdown stuff, let me at least get one. And we got to get Chip Milligan at least one. Come on now. So 45-0 is the score here in the first half. There's 5 seconds left. For some reason, Sick Naven wants to run an actual play. Lumpkin, deep shot downfield, and that pass is caught, and now off to the races. You better believe it. Another touchdown. Clock is at 000, and we're just running the score up on the Tigers. We were just completely running the score up on Auburn as Ben Medley gets another touchdown. And that might even get him over 1,000 yards. I think this game alone probably gets him over 1,000 yards. He probably only has like 3 or 4 receptions, and 2 of them are just these long touchdown plays. So I think he definitely has at least 1,000 yards on the year now, and he has well over double-digit touchdowns. He did that coming into the game, but yeah, after the first half, nothing else would happen. We'd score again, and Auburn would eventually score a touchdown. So yeah, and we get the Spotsman Trophy once again for the 14th, 15th year in a row. So that's just what we do, guys. That's just what we do here. So we did our job now in the final week of the season, week 14, I guess it is, our 12th game. We did our job here, and now we just need to hope that elsewhere in college football, other teams did their jobs. Boston College did their jobs, or USC in the following week. But we're probably really just looking at Boston College, even though USC gives us the best chance. I don't know. It really sucks putting your faith, putting your season in other teams' hands. But, especially when you do the job of beating the big teams on your schedule, like Arkansas and like Tennessee. So I specifically gave us an easier schedule to try and at least give us a clearer path, and now we still might be at a disadvantage now because we are waiting on other teams. So that's the unfortunate reality of college football. It is. It happens, especially during the BCS era in which we have to rely on the computer to give us as much help as possible. So Cal Lumpkin has an absolutely amazing game. Even Ernest Slaughter gets in the late game because of the blowout situation, and he is terrible. He doesn't turn the ball over, but he does have a terrible game. So I'm still not regretting the decision. Cal Lumpkin has definitely proven heading into this game. Cal Lumpkin had almost 3,600 yards, 25 touchdowns, and just 10 interceptions, and I was going to leave this game with I think another 3 more. So another 3 touchdowns, that is. Not interception, so I think I'm okay with that. And Boston College does exactly what we needed them to do. They managed to pull off the upset over the Hokies, win 20-17. They do it on the road. We love Boston College, man. We are going to leave them alone. We're not going to play them. We are just going to absolutely leave them alone as Boston College pulls off the impossible, grabs their 9th win of the season by beating Virginia Tech. TCU, however, manages to beat Southern Miss and clinch the Conference USA, and they are also cementing themselves as number 3. So if we lose the SEC championship, then TCU will probably hop our spot and get involved. But of course, that's expecting that USC or Notre Dame wins, and they do. They absolutely blow out USC. They win the Broken Shillelagh or if anything, they kept it. I don't know how that rivalry's been throughout the years, but either way, Notre Dame wins it this year, which is the important year that they need to win it. They keep their win streak alive up to 31, and they sit atop the BCS Bowl rankings. We are at number 2, so that of course means if we win in Atlanta in the next week or week after, whenever they actually play it in real life, then we will meet Notre Dame in the BCS National Title game. But of course, if we lose, then TCU could easily hop us. Maybe Arkansas could with the one loss, but I doubt it. I think TCU would probably just slot right in at the number 2 spot. So, but when we come back, we will be playing South Carolina because, of course, the Gamecocks have made it back once again. It really is just a 3-horse race in the Eastern Division between Vanderbilt, Tennessee, and South Carolina. But South Carolina managed to make it back for the first time since year 12 when they beat us. So we are looking for some revenge here in Atlanta for the SEC Championship. So I hope to see you guys back in Atlanta in the Georgia Dome when we play the Gamecocks, try to go for another SEC title.